welcome again to Sardinia in a nutshell. First of all, I would like to thank you all for the lovely comments and the views that I received in these days, and to the 3 subscribers that actually subscribed. Thank you so much. I know that I probably sound sarcastic, but I'm actually very, very happy about it. So thank you so much for the support. I am so pleasantly surprised, actually, and yeah, thank you so much. Keep it up, guys. In today's video, I was going to talk about the Sardinian flags, which you can see behind me. But then I thought that after all the questions that I received and the debate that it sparked in the comment section, I thought that maybe actually we should talk about something related to the language again. And it's actually something that I mentioned in that video, which is the comparison between Sardinian and Welsh. So why Welsh? Well, Welsh is actually a minority language spoken in the UK, in Wales. And when the Red Book of Endangered Languages was compiled between 1993 and 1999, the Sardinian and Welsh were at the same level. They were considered both endangered. The thing is that Sardinian is now considered as definitely endangered, and this we're talking about like 20 years after the first edition of the Red Book of Endangered Languages was published, more or less, of course, while Welsh is actually only vulnerable. So we have 2 completely different minority languages, completely different in grammar, sound, and the places where they're spoken, of course, which started out the same, but have 2 completely different results. How is this possible? Firstly, I explored this topic for my language right class in university. I wrote an essay about it. I'll probably put a link to it underneath in the description box or whatever it's called, just for the heck of it. Whoever wants to read it can read it. It will be kind of the same thing that I am saying here in this video, but a bit more in depth and more with more references, of course, because it's university. So that's why I decided to compare both of them. So in the 20th century in Wales, there were only 43.5% of people who could actually speak Welsh, which was quite worrying for both the local and central government. We can see that both the local and central government took actions throughout the 20th century, something that, of course, neither the Sardinian nor the Italian government did. For example, we have in 1942 the Welsh Court Act, which gave limited permission to use Welsh in court. So it was partly legitimized. But the real breakthrough was in 1993 when the Welsh Language Act was passed, and that made compulsory and fully legitimized the use of Welsh in courts with public service providers, for example, bus services and everything. So they would have to, and schools, of course, they would have to provide both forms, application forms, for example, or informations both in English and in Welsh, and gave birth to the Welsh Education Scheme, which resulted in Welsh being incorporated in the curricula of every student in Wales, which is great! Also, the Welsh government in particular really invested in education through the medium of Welsh, which means that, of course, schools only teach in Welsh, which of course resulted in having a big number, around 500 more or less, schools, primary and secondary schools, which teach through the medium of Welsh, and 1,000 more bilingual schools, so both English and Welsh. The Welsh government also tried to implement at least one completely and fully Welsh university, but for now they are all bilingual. Also, the local and the central government worked together to create more media only in Welsh. For example, we have BBC Radio Cymru. I'm not too sure. I'm sorry. I actually apologize to all the Welsh people for my horrible pronunciation. Unfortunately, I've never actually heard anyone talking Welsh to me before, so you'll have to bear with me, I guess, in my horrible pronunciation. But anyway, back to the point. This radio station has most of its programs in Welsh. We have 19 hours out of 24 completely in Welsh, which is quite good. And these, can you find it in Sardinia? Not really. You have some little stations like Radiolina that actually do some programs in Sardinian, but it's really not that common, unfortunately. Also on TV there's a channel that is completely in Welsh, and it's sorry again for my pronunciation, and it's Channel Pedwar Cymru, I think. And that's completely in Welsh. They also have a soap opera, which I'm not even gonna try to pronounce, and that's kind of like EastEnders for Welsh people, I guess. It's really popular. That's what I understood from it. Does this happen in Sardinia? No, of course not. I think there are 2 programs that I've seen on the website, Videolina's website, which is the kind of like main local TV channel, but that's about it. Maybe I just haven't find any information. So if you are Sardinian and you are watching this and you can understand what I'm saying, please let me know if I'm wrong, because I don't want to, you know, give false information. But from my researches, I couldn't find anything more than two programs that are completely in Sardinian. So what's the next step? What to do to make sure that Sardinian is not going to go into extinction completely and into a black hole of darkness where all the unused languages are, like Latin and whatever. Which is not actually true, because Latin is actually used quite a lot. I know that for certain there was a forum on the internet years ago and it was all in Latin and I couldn't understand a thing, but it was so cool. One thing that I really urge the Italian government to do is to please ratify that freaking European Charter for regional and minority languages. It's a treaty, a European treaty, and it's all about trying to help minority languages. I know that the Italian government said that, you know, we have the law 483/99, it's enough. It's not. It may be enough for other minority languages, but it's not enough for Sardinian, and I think that it's not enough for Sicilian either. Not that I know a lot about Sicilian, but for what I understood, that these are the two languages that are, minority languages that are completely ignored by the law 483/99. And it's not because of lack of funds, it's just because of pure laziness, to be quite honest. I'm not going to blame all of it on the Italian government, because that would be stupid. For example, where the hell is the application form for studying Sardinia in Sardinian in primary school? There was actually a law that was put together. It was said that Sardinian would go into the curricula of every student in at least primary school, I think. But of course, it wasn't a compulsory module, which is fair enough. At least it's one step forward towards the right direction. Unfortunately, though, when the parents went to grab the application form in order to make sure that their children were learning Sardinian as well as Italian in school for just 2 hours, but irrelevant. Unfortunately, the application form wasn't there. I mean, the local Sardinian government just completely forgot, or didn't put for some reason, the application form, and it's just like gobsmacking, to be quite honest. Anyway, back to the main point before I get too angry about it. By passing and so ratifying the European Charter for Regional and Minority Languages, such a mouthful, it would actually help implementing preschool education in Sardinian, so in nurseries. It would give also training for teachers of Sardinian, so teachers in primary schools, and also public services. We could have the train lines supporting Sardinian. We could have information about the health system in Sardinian. Anything would be better than nothing at all. Also, media. Where are our channels completely in Sardinian? Where are our radio station completely in Sardinian? It wouldn't even be too difficult to implement, to be quite honest. Even small steps like having, for example, the commentary in football matches of Cagliari Calcio, which is the biggest football team in Sardinian. Even having those commentaries in Sardinian with Italian subtitles would be better than not having anything at all. It would give the opportunity to have education while still enjoying themselves. We don't have to have soap operas in Sardinian. This could come afterwards. For now, we just need small things. Lastly, Sardinians do really need to understand that Sardinian is precious. It's quite sad to see that Sardinian, it's such a beautiful language, full of history, and Sardinians are just dismissing it like it's nothing. Quite sad. So please, parents, grandparents, talk to your children in Sardinian. Italian doesn't matter, they have loads of Italian inputs already. They have the TV, they have school teachers, schoolmates. Doesn't matter, just please talk Sardinian to the children. Probably it's a bit pointless to do it in English because you know, if it's an advice to Italian people, why not doing it in Italian? But I think that I don't really want to speak Italian in this particular video. I think that I will do another video in Italian about the same thing, but just in Italian so that I can put my point across. There we go. In a better way, you know, through a medium that Italian people actually understand. Not that Italian people don't understand English, but maybe not all of them. Or maybe because my accent is just a hybrid, they would just not get it. And for those of you that will be like, oh, but you can't speak it, so you probably shouldn't say anything at all. Yeah, that's true. I can't speak Sardinian. I'm not even gonna lie. But I'm planning to learn. I will try to find a teacher somewhere, hopefully over Skype, mother tongue, of course. And see if I can learn some Campidanese, which is the language that I grew up with. So that I will be able, hopefully, to speak it quite soon. We'll see though. For now, my finance situation is a bit dire, so I can't really afford it, but you know, one day. Anyway, on this quite depressing note, I will end this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, please write them down below. If you have any comment, of course, leave it down below. If you want to subscribe, please do. And if you want to give it a thumbs up, please do. I see you next time. A biri! Also... Oh, Dace was talking. Camry. Okay.